As President Biden's term concludes, the U.S. job market shows remarkable strength. December 2024 saw a surge of 256,000 new jobs. This exceeded economists' predictions of 155,000. The unemployment rate dropped to a low 4.1%. This beat expectations of 4.2%. Such figures paint a picture of robust job creation under the Biden administration. The economy has rebounded significantly from the pandemic downturn. These positive indicators are not a recent phenomenon. Throughout Biden's presidency, the labor market has experienced a period of historic growth. Millions of jobs were added back to the economy. This followed the massive job losses seen at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. The unemployment rate steadily declined, reaching levels not seen in decades. This strong labor market recovery is a testament to the policies enacted by the Biden administration. The American Rescue Plan, passed in early 2021, provided crucial support to businesses and workers. This helped to prevent a deeper recession and pave the way for a swift recovery. Additionally, the Biden administration's focus on infrastructure investment and clean energy has created new jobs in growing sectors. The bipartisan infrastructure law, for example, is projected to create millions of good-paying jobs in the coming years. This robust job growth has had a tangible impact on American workers. With more people employed, competition for workers has increased, driving up wages. This has been particularly beneficial for low-wage workers, who have seen some of the largest wage gains in recent years. The tight labor market has also given workers more leverage to demand better working conditions and benefits. One of the most notable achievements of the Biden administration's economic policy has been the so-called soft landing. This refers to the successful navigation of the economy away from high inflation without triggering a recession. When Biden took office, inflation was a major concern. The Federal Reserve, tasked with controlling inflation, responded by raising interest rates. Many economists feared that these rate hikes, while necessary to curb inflation, could also slow down the economy too much, leading to a recession. However, the Biden administration's policies, combined with the Fed's careful management of interest rates, have so far managed to avoid this outcome. The economy has continued to grow, albeit at a slower pace, and unemployment has remained low. This soft landing is a significant accomplishment. It demonstrates the effectiveness of the Biden administration's economic strategy. By striking a balance between supporting economic growth and controlling inflation, the administration has been able to steer the economy towards a more stable footing. However, it is important to note that the soft landing is not yet complete. Inflation, while moderating, remains above the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. The Fed has signaled its intention to continue raising interest rates until inflation is brought fully under control. This means that the economy will continue to face headwinds in the coming months. The risk of a recession cannot be entirely ruled out. Despite the positive developments in the labor market and the achievement of a soft landing, inflation remains a persistent challenge for the U.S. economy. While inflation has cooled from its peak in 2022, it is still higher than it has been in decades. This has eroded consumer purchasing power and contributed to a decline in consumer sentiment. The reasons for this persistent inflation are complex and multifaceted. Supply chain disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the war in Ukraine, and strong consumer demand have all played a role. The Federal Reserve's loose monetary policy in the wake of the pandemic, while necessary to support the economy at the time, also contributed to inflationary pressures. The Biden administration has taken steps to address inflation. These include releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to lower gas prices and working to alleviate supply chain bottlenecks. However, these measures have had a limited impact. Ultimately, taming inflation falls largely on the shoulders of the Federal Reserve. The Fed's aggressive interest rate hikes are beginning to have the desired effect. However, it is a delicate balancing act. Raising rates too quickly could tip the economy into recession. This poses a significant challenge for policymakers. The Biden administration's economic legacy will depend in part on its ability to navigate this complex economic landscape and bring inflation fully under control without sacrificing the gains made in the labor market. As President Biden prepares to leave office, his economic legacy remains a subject of debate. On the one hand, he will be remembered for presiding over a period of robust job growth and a historic decline in unemployment. The soft landing achieved by his administration is a testament to sound economic management. On the other hand, Biden's presidency has been marked by the return of high inflation, something not seen in the US in decades. While the causes of inflation are complex and global, it has undoubtedly cast a shadow over his economic record. The rising cost of living has strained household budgets and become a political liability. Looking ahead, the US economy faces a number of challenges. The Federal Reserve's fight against inflation is not over. Interest rates are expected to continue rising, which could slow economic growth. The global economic outlook is uncertain. The war in Ukraine and tensions with China pose risks to the US economy. Despite these challenges, there are also reasons for optimism. The US economy is fundamentally strong, the labor market is robust, and businesses continue to invest. Technological innovation and a growing workforce provide grounds for long-term growth. How these competing forces will play out in the coming years remains to be seen. Only time will tell how Biden's economic legacy will ultimately be judged.